I call these guys enemies of masculinity.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Aben Preach, enemies of masculinity. Destiny, enemies of masculinity. Anthony Johnson, enemies of masculinity. Adam Sosnick, enemy of masculinity. You heard? I know some of you like Adam Sosnick. If I ever see him, I'll fucking deck him. No, I got a woman. I got a real woman. And she might not be as young as I, but she doesn't f their dudes.
Well, except for the one she to make the kid that you're now taking care of, which actually makes you like the biological definition of a cuckold. But not that there's anything wrong with that. I think there's no problem with stepchildren. But you better believe that if I had a stepchild, these guys would be losing their fucking minds. That if I had a stepkid, it would be all over. I would be the actual cuck.
Thank you. People don't follow people. People don't listen to people whose lives you wouldn't want. There you go, man. There you go. The Destiny's fans are losers. Every one of them are losers. Destiny's fans are losers. You are taking cues from a man who plays video games for a living, which is fine, but not fine for you, losers.
One of the things I brought up before that I thought was funny when Sneeko said this, because I thought it was really telling, is when Sneeko was one of the big ways that Sneeko like owned Moist Critical was he was like, Charlie, your fans, you're not a role model for how they should all live their lives or something. And it's like, why does every single person whose content you consume, why do they all have to be role models for you? Like, how many daddy issues do you have that every single piece of content you consume has to come from a man whose life you want to emulate? Like, it's so weird. Like my goal in being a content creator is not like to have people copy every facet of my life. I usually just want to, my main thing is like talking about politics. Then I guess we also talk about like relationships and stuff, or we'll talk about like video games or whatever. But like my big thing is like, I want you to have like certain ways of generating political ideas. But I feel like on these guys, like the goal is just always, you should copy every single thing about my life and be me and copy me and do what I do, because that's the only way I get affirmation. It's such a weird position. I don't know.
Plays video games for a living, which is fine, but not fine for you, losers. Who's been through two marriages. One of them was an open marriage. Who put his hand, who choked his woman out. He actually.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh man, the mythos of Destiny Bonnell, Stephen Kenneth II.
Admitted that on camera. Whose life is an abject disaster and he's addicted to Adderall.
Did he know the right medication?
And then I get these idiots coming at me. Well, Destiny is still richer than you. I remember one guy called me up. He's like, well, Destiny's richer than you and his woman is hotter than you. I'm like, okay. It doesn't count if his...
It doesn't count if his... I know what he's going to say. The actual answer is, the only thing that really matters is are you happy and content? And do you feel some sense of like fulfillment in your life? Those are the only two real things that matter. Are you happy? As in, are all your hedonistic needs met? Meaning, do you get to eat the food you want? Do you live like in a comfortable place? Do you know, all the things that make you happy? And then do you have some sense of fulfillment? Is there like some type of long-term, more like spiritually gratifying, or I don't know, what's like a good secular replacement for spiritually satisfying, some sort of like fulfilling thing, hobby. It could be hobby, it could be education, it could be career, whatever that you invest yourself in, right? As long as these two things are met roughly, and there's a large variety of ways to meet these things, then yeah, I think you're doing pretty good. Those are the big markers for success, I think. He's gonna say, because my wife fucks other people. Guaranteed. R Bunch, thanks for the 1 gifted sub.
Wife is fucking other people.
I was gonna go live at 12:30 today, and I pre-watched this. I did watch this in advance. so that I would be able to give that quote, by the way.
I am 237% certain that I am not the biggest ever that Devin's ever taken.
Bro, what are you doing?
And the way I f is not the best she's ever had. She's had bigger and better than me. She hasn't told me this, but I know. I'm almost positive Devin's had bigger, better than mine. But if I ever...
Do you think it's a fetish? Because he mentions it so much. I wonder if he actually gets off to it, which, by the way, is totally fine if that's what you're into. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Ever found out what one of these guys looked like? If I ever found out that one of those guys had a 12-inch, you better believe I'm going to be insecure. You kidding me? I don't have a 12-inch. Devin's had bigger than her. Now I got to see what that looks like. Of course it makes us insecure. That's another reason why men of value don't commit to women with high body counts.
Men of value don't do it because they're insecure? What the fuck?
He says men of high value don't commit to women with high body counts, and yet
he committed to.
And yet,
it's because we know the more that have been in you, the more huge that have been in you.
Huge.
It's just mathematical. If you've been with 5 guys, okay, all right, we can deal with that. If you've been with 555, dude, you've probably...
Now I can't have burgers no more.
hey man, this man's really thought about this shit. You can tell like this is a deep insecurity. I'll be honest with you, I don't worry about stuff like that. One, because I'm packing, but two, mostly because like when I'm with a girl, I ain't worried about what the last dude did. I'm not worried about the guy before. Like, who cares?
Friend, like nobody, like, it's so funny. Destiny's fans want Destiny's life because he's a loser like them. Destiny's a rich fucking loser.
It's such a weird cope. Like, why not? There are different ways to live life, and different people can enjoy living life in different ways. How many years has it been that I've been streaming and people are like, oh, one day he's going to wake up and realize how much he hates himself, or one day he's going to lose everything, or people are going to realize like blah, blah, blah. Like, if you set your mindset up this way to where the only possible way your adversaries are existing is through secret misery that one day is going to be revealed, like, how mind-fucked are you going to be if that never happens? It's kind of like when people are like, oh, you know, bad people always get what's coming to them. No, they don't. There are some bad people that live incredibly happy lives, and they might even realize their wrongs later on and turn around and become good people and nothing bad happens to them ever. Or there are some people that are super bad throughout the entirety of their lives and they die as bad people and nothing bad happens. That just happens. That's life sometimes. This weird idea that everybody that doesn't share my values is secretly coping and hates life, and trust me, one day it'll all be revealed, is such a weird, stupid cope. And it's so unhealthy, and it's deeply damaging to your psyche, I think.
That's what he is. This dude took a massive L after making all the red pill rounds and acting like he was so much more, him and Melina, we are so much more enlightened. You guys.
I love how people make this claim too. I never recommended open relationships. I never recommend any of this shit. I always say like, yeah, we've got problems that we deal with. Like, it's so funny. Again, anytime somebody presents like a different lifestyle or a different thing to your own, people instantly assume they're like, oh, you think you're way better? No, it's just how I run my shit. Like, why do you assume that? Like, why are you so threatened by anything that doesn't 100% fall within, you know, your rules for life?
Don't understand. The open relationship is the way to go. Every one of us told everybody exactly what would happen in that relationship.
I don't think it's damaging to the psyche. Honestly, it seems like the natural healthy state. To constantly wish that people who disagree with you are on their downfall? No. The healthy state is to be able to persevere and move through life irrespective of what other people do, and to have like a realistic outlook on life. Like, sometimes bad people get rewarded. Sometimes good people get killed. Like, it happens. There's not a rhyme or reason to it, but being able to accept that and moving on is the healthy thing. Not constantly tricking yourself that one day it's going to catch up to all of them and you're going to get yours. That's not true. You only get what you work for. Or if you're wealthy, what's handed to you?
And it fucking did. And what does this idiot go back and do? Well, my next relationship is also going to be poly.
Destiny, go watch Dune 2 right now, based.
Nah, bruh. No, you fucked up and you can't admit you fucked up. This dude, Destiny is so hell-bent on getting... Destiny doesn't want to get it right. He wants...
Do you think they really care about your lifestyle, or do they just see a few clips and feel like they can push a narrative? The issue is because they have a very narrow construction of the world, and they have a very hard time imagining other minds, that people that do things that run contrary to what they think would make them happy, there's no way to make sense of that other than it's all a cope. That's how it works, basically. So if I think in order to be successful, you've got to do A, B, and C, and I see somebody else doing X, Y, Z, well, secretly they must be miserable. There's no way they can enjoy X, Y, and Z. So they must be like coping, or they're miserable, or whatever. Or it's all going to come crashing down. That's basically the way that it works with people like this.
Wants to be right. He wants to be right so badly that he is willing to subject himself to another relationship just so that we don't say, I told you so. I got news for you, Steve.
Like, how revealing is it that you would think I would ever choose relationship partners or do relationship stuff based on what people online are dictating for me? What a wild and sad way to live. As opposed to this guy who lied about his stepdaughter being a stepdaughter for years on his stream, and lied and said it was his niece because he was too embarrassed to admit that he married a single mom, somebody that he told his audience to stay away from forever, right? So obviously that's influencing his decisions.
And yes, listen, I know single moms are bad and this and that and the other, but we all got to start somewhere. Don't commit to them. You've been married before.
I have.
Okay, you've been married before.
I got married young, and I was married for a very long time. You know, for the 20-something years before we met, you know, as an adult. You know, for the 20-something years before we met, you know, as an adult.
I met you when you were 32. You are an older woman. Devin, my girlfriend, is an older woman. Okay? Yes, my girlfriend is an older woman. She turned 36 back in February. I misled my audience about Devin's age, but I did that for privacy purposes. Just listen.
How dude, the obsession with like 20-year-olds is so cringe. Oh my God.
And Dev is 45.
Meanwhile, every day you get online and you lie about the
your
fact
wife
that woman has a daughter.
And
that the woman that you call your girl, your wife, has a daughter.
Why is he hiding her age? Because these red pill guys are out here all the time talking about how horrible it is. Don't ever date single moms. Don't ever date older women. Only 20-year-olds. Only 18-year-olds. Only 19-year-olds. Like, and then homeboy over here, married to like a 45-year-old single mom.
And not only are you lying about it, you lying about the fact that your girl's old, which is fine. But you lying about it while telling other people to not wife up used goods. That's what you say.
Devin is my girlfriend. She is not my wife. We have never been married. She is not a single mother, and we have not adopted anybody.
The sad thing is too, here's like the really sad thing, is the Donovan guy might actually be able to be like a decent example for red pill people. Like, he's a red pill guy, but he found a single mom and she's even a little older. They're around the same age. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the fact she has a kid, right? He could be like doing all of it, but instead he's like, he lives his whole life like in fucking denial.
Even, we told you so. If your next relationship is going to be poly, it's going to end probably worse than it did with Melina. Seriously, like, get the fuck out of here with this nonsense. Like, he went on every podcast he can think of. And he's talking to anyone who would listen about how enlightened their relationship is, and about how
so triggered. Oh my God.
Monogamy is just so overrated, and about how we're so much better than you. Then your wife started fucking a dude in the apartment you paid for.
It's not technically true. He's also got like bits and pieces of stories that that is like,
yeah, total winner. No, you're a fucking loser, you blue-haired bastard, and so are your fucking fans. Dude, all of Destiny's fans are losers, because it's just like Candace said. You wouldn't follow someone whose life you wouldn't want. Destiny's fans want to be like Destiny because they're fucking losers just like him. Like, what you heard.
He sounds like he's about to cry.
That's what I would say to everybody. And he plays to young people who just
Didn't
want
this guy
somebody
dodge
to
like 2 debates?
reinforce their bad
Yeah,
ideas, and I'm
we've
never
talked
gonna
about
do
it a couple times.
that. He did comment on me doing something like this and was like, just
I had a whole
defending people
workup
that had
prepared
bad
for him
lifestyles.
too, a
I'm
whole
like, why would you
dossier. It was
want
going to be good
girls
times.
to have a bad lifestyle? You're pretending that I'm the monster. I'm sitting across from these people saying, like, you're worth more. You can do better. No matter what you've done, your life can change. Don't do this. Yeah. And you think you're the hero for being like, Candace doesn't understand. Maybe these girls is what they want. It's like, no, you're a predator in my book. Like, you know that this isn't going to be how women, like, it's not going to fulfill their lives in a positive way. So,
yo, somebody needs to clip all of this.
Anyways, that was a little sidebar just to like say, don't follow people.
Yo, she absolutely just cooked this dude. Absolutely just cooked this dude. Finally. And guys, I don't have the kind of platform that allows me to tell what's really going on, but there you go. Finally. Somebody who is infinitely smarter than I will ever be, finally.
Imagine watching Candace Owens. You're like, that lady is infinitely smarter than I ever could be.
Pointed out the obvious about this dumbass. He thinks he's some kind of fucking hero because he plays video games and disagrees with everybody. No, you're a loser. You're a fucking loser.
Your affiant learned from the Plant City Police Department that on September 8th, 2003, Edwin Hopkins Jr. had used his father's
I think they f***ed me on this video. I don't think Donovan will debate me.
Social Security number to rent an apartment in Pinellas County, Florida. Your affiant went to the apartment complex and obtained a copy of Edwin Hopkins Jr.'s rental application, which includes Edwin Hopkins Jr.'s signature and Edwin Hopkins Sr.'s Social Security number. Your affiant learned that Edwin Hopkins Jr. had defaulted on his rental payments in the amount of $8,000.08. On June 16, 2004, your client spoke with Edwin Hopkins Sr., who advised that the outstanding balance showed up on his credit report. Edwin Hopkins Sr. does wish to prosecute his son for the crime of identity theft.
Jesus Christ.
Your client learned that Edwin Hopkins Jr. obtained a Florida identification card listing the above-mentioned apartment as his current address. Your client has been unable to locate Edwin Hopkins Jr.
My dad, the spineless beta male he is, does not have the heart to step to his own son and say, hey, look, son, I disagree with you.
This man defrauded his own father. He used his social insurance and his stuff to get an apartment, defaulted on the apartment. The debt went to the dad, and it went on his social bureau. The dad pressed charges, and they went after him in court.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. We all told him exactly what was going to happen in his relationship, and then his dumbass.
I love how these guys are now perfectly fine with people throwing out predator allegations. True.
Yeah, who's laughing now, you idiot? Huh? You want to laugh at my fake wedding again?
I will laugh at your fake wedding because that was hilarious. Okay, her vows are okay. I think her vows are fine. You couldn't hear it. It's all right. They were just like standard, like I love you. We'll have fun together. Blah blah blah. Okay. What are the red pill vows though?
No birds, baby. Cindy, it's been a hell of a ride. And the way we met was very unorthodox. Our relationship is very unorthodox. You're wearing a wedding ring now because, well, there you go. You've been wearing it for 7.5 years. But, like I said, I bring out the best in you. But you make me happy, you really do. I was happy before you, and if you and I decide to part ways for whatever reason, I'll be happy without you. But I am very, very glad to have someone like you in my life. I've been successful in many ventures in my life, and I've never really had someone like you. I really haven't. I'm glad that I made you into the woman you are today, and I'm glad that you continue to hold that standard. Success is really, really cool to have, to be financially successful, but it's much, much sweeter when you have someone like you to share it with. And so, by the power vested in me, I pronounce us man and wife.
Who's laughing now? This guy's more obsessed with my fucking divorce than I am. Bro, I got over this shit a month and a half ago. How are you still talking about it? Jesus.
Or should I call Melina and see what the f she's up to? Oh, my bad. She's busy getting butt by a dude in a dress.
How is this an own on me? What? I don't even know who's attacking now.
Far be it for me to address that, and it's funny.
Didn't you word for word predict how things would end either way? Yeah, I did, which is honestly funny because everything that I said actually came true, but he thinks that, or they think that what they say come true. I'm pretty sure there are quotes of me saying there are two different things. There are two huge issues in my last relationship. One is that Melina was really young, which is always a huge issue, even though these guys tell you to go and date 15, 16-year-olds, whatever the lowest legal age is, wherever you can go to a country and abduct some girl from, like the Tates. And then I said that the biggest threat to me is never like a Giga Chad, Alpha, whatever dude. It's just some fucking loser that's got 24 hours of time every single day to dump into whoever I'm talking to, because I can't compete with that level of attention. I think I even said that, but I think pretty sure before we ended up breaking up.
A lot of getting pussy, from my perspective, honestly, is just having the temperament to be able to hang out long enough. Forever, you will see a hot-ass chick with a loser-ass boyfriend, but that's a guy who just has the patience and the lack of ambition that he just is down to just, like, his ambition is wanting to date a girl who's too good for him.
Oh, dude. Wait, when you have to... No, I'm sorry. You bring this up. One of the worst things when you are in your chasing years, you're trying to chase, so I would give up on these immediately.
Right.
When you see a girl, and there's another guy chasing that girl, and he's a f***ing loser, and I'm like, this motherfucker gonna spend all day texting her. He's gonna want to go and hang out for 6 hours. I'm on my career grind. I don't have fucking time for that. You're just like, you win, you have it. I hated competing with those. And you're talking to the girl, like, well, come on, what the f***? See this guy? He's like, yeah. Okay, I don't want to like dump on that too much. Sorry. But like obviously, you know, dipshits like him and everybody else, like, oh no, the people that are gonna steal your girl are gonna be like Andrew Tate or blah blah blah. It's like, no, bro, I'm not in that market. But yeah, but it's funny that he pretends that like all of his ideas and everything on it were completely and totally true. But
Destiny still defends Melina. Well, don't talk about Melina. No, I will talk about Melina.
Defends Melina? I'm not defending Melina. I just think it's weird to, I don't need my fan base like obsessing over people I've dated. It's funny that he thinks I'm defending her on that.
Destiny still defends Melina. Well, don't talk about Melina. No, I will talk about Melina's hoe ass as much the fuck as I want to.
Why do you think I would care? It's my ex. It's her life now. You can talk about whoever you. I like how he thinks he's like standing up to me by attacking my ex. Like, knock yourself out, dude. It's not my partner. What the fuck?
Destiny, Melina's a fucking slut. She is a whore. She used you for clout and money. She never loved you because she is a slut. She is a whore.
Like, is it supposed to be a dig on me or a dig on her, or?
I am not the biggest ever that Devin's ever taken.
Bro, what are you doing?
And the way I f is not the best she's ever had. She's had bigger and better than me. She hasn't told me this, but I know. I'm almost positive Devin's had bigger, better than mine. But if I ever...
Do you think it's a fetish? Because he mentions it so much. I wonder if he actually gets off to it, which, by the way, is totally fine if that's what you're into. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And you knew it. But your dumbass fell in love with her, and she took full advantage of you. She actually had your ass convinced that she actually loved you. Matter of fact, I gotta
be pretty interesting over projection in the role and complaint debates. True.
I gotta give Melina credit. Because as smart as you are, and I do believe you're smart as you are, even your dumbass took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. And then you want to act like, I don't know where the fuck this came from. Of course you didn't.
When did I ever say? I like how, also I love the invented fantasies of people. When they assume things about me and they have no idea, like, anything I've ever said or talked about or whatever too. Like, what version of me exists in this guy's head that he's even attacking right now? Didn't this guy fall in love with some girl in his class he never met? No, there was a girl that was addicted to smack, I think, that he bought a wedding ring for. I think when he was 38, and I think she was 19. I think this is part of the formation of his backstory. It's why he's like so mind fucked on women and hates women or whatever. Fuck. What was the story?
I'll tell you guys a story about the worst. I'm gonna give you guys the Reader's Digest version of the girl that I love the most. This story is it's absolutely crazy. To make a very long story very short, I started paralegal school when I was 31 years old, and there's this hot 19-year-old in my class. We took a shine to each other immediately, right? It was a great relationship. We spent every day together, blah, 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 blah. Red flag number one that I didn't even think about. One day, I had a headache in class because I suffer from migraines, and she recognized that. She says, what's wrong? I said, well, I've got a headache. She's like, all right. Reaches into her purse, and she gives me this big white pill. I'm like, what is that? She says, it's Vicodin. And I was like, all right. So I took the Vicodin. Headache is gone. What's a 19-year-old doing with a bag full of Vicodin, right?
She's a drug dealer, right?
No problem at all. Red flag number two, she had homemade tattoo on her wrist, right? Told me she got it when she was 15. Hold on. Red flag number three. Stay with me. Red flag number three. She had a 6-year-old. She was 19 years old who had a 6-year-old, which means what class? She had her child at 13, which means she was having at 12. It gets even better. The baby daddy was in prison at the time we were dating.
Oh. Now we see Destiny trying to character assassinate Donovan because he spoke facts. What's up, Red Pillar that's still not... So first of all, no, Donovan didn't speak facts. None of what he said was true. That's why when all of your heroes criticize me, they never show original clips of me saying anything, because none of the stuff they quote me on is stuff that I have ever said. That's why when I attack him, I can show you exactly what he said from his own mouth and give you the exact story that he himself told on a podcast. The mental gymnastics you've got to jump through to assume that I'm lying about him when I'm showing you what he's saying about himself, but he's telling the truth about me when he'll never show clips of me actually speaking about the things he claims I'm saying on his show. It's pretty funny, my dude.
Statutory EPAR. Here's the reason why they didn't throw the book at him with Jessica's Law. Is because she testified to the jury that she seduced him, and the jury actually bought it. The jury actually bought it. So let's set the scene. So my birthday, I opened up Facebook to get all the birthday love. She left her account open on my computer on Facebook. I scrolled through, saw all kinds of stuff, drove to her place. I said, I want you to be honest with me. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me, and I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep up the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. That is the worst emotional pain I've ever felt in my life. To this day, I never will. Dude, I went to her bathroom, I puked, ripped off the necklace. She's blowing me up at work all day long. I'm sorry. I can't pick up the phone. So finally...
Destiny going on his wife? Why? I don't know his wife. Why the fuck would I start shitting on his wife? That just sounds mean. No, I don't think I would ever do this.
I picked up the phone. She's like, hey, I'm sorry, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, da-da-da-da. She's like, look, I want to come to your place. I have a birthday surprise for you. So she comes over, she has like this little cupcake, and she bought me a watch that she knew I was looking at. Then she turns around and lifts up her shirt. There was my name tattooed on the small of her back. Dude, my hand to the man. So I was back in her clutches. It was all downhill from there. Guys, this story gets so much worse.
How old were you?
I was 31. I was 31 years old. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 17.
Oh, no. So So she continued cheating on me, right? So I'm always trying to catch her. I lost my job. I lost the place that I was at. The car that I had was paid for because I paid cash for it. It broke down. I didn't have a job, so I couldn't get it fixed. I'm evicted. I ended up having to live with a couple of her drug addict friends in a quasi crack house. Both people were on felony probation.
What?
You can't make this up. Both people, the guy and the girl, were on probation for felony possession. They were on felony probation, ankle bracelets, the whole nine. And so I lived there, and so I had to live there, right? And so finally, and I kept trying to get back with her. September 16th. Baby daddy gets out of prison, okay? Baby daddy gets out of prison. I called her up on September 15th. I said, you know what? I can't do it. I think you still love Ben. I can't do it anymore. Dude, she cried her eyes out, hung up the phone. I stayed up all night long. I couldn't sleep. So I called her up. I called her up the next day. I was like, hey, meet me at this gas station. Then I called up my brother and I borrowed $800. He gave me $800. I went to the jewelry store. I bought her a ring, proposed to her. I proposed. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, it gets worse. It gets worse. I swear to God. People wonder why I speak with such conviction about these things, dude. Look, it gets worse. It gets worse. So she says yes, right? So now, all of her friends are like, oh.
Also, I don't know if he says this, but this would be my guess. The reason why this happened is probably because 31 was the first time he had a girl give him attention. That's probably why he fell so head over heels for her, because he was 31 years old and he hadn't had any relationships yet. And he's like, oh my God. And then he got, what do they call it in the Redpill community? One-itis?
Getting engaged. Well, eventually she started fucking the baby daddy behind my back. Of course. So we were in this love triangle. Anytime she was pissed off at me, she'd go and fuck him. Anytime she was pissed off at him, she would come and fuck me. So finally on Thanksgiving, I had to call my brother. My family. This was in North Carolina. My brother comes out into this quasi crack house, and he's kind of looking around, and they're all looking up at him like, "That's your brother?" And of course we look alike. And so I'll never forget, man. I'm telling my brother about the situation. He's like, my real name's Alex. He says, "Alex, what are you doing?" And I said to him, dude, you don't choose who you love. I still loved her. So he drives me back after Thanksgiving dinner. This girl calls me up and tells me that she was now engaged to be married to Ben, right? I'm crushed, I'm heartbroken, I'm crestfallen. I'm doing pills, I'm doing drugs.
From the time that you recognized the tattoo and she had a 6-year-old to this time, how long has time progressed? I
met her the first day of the second semester, so January. So this happened this happened in one calendar year. So I'm telling you, can't make this stuff up. So now I've lost her forever. So now I'm doing drugs and all this other kind of stuff. During the time I was living at that quasi crack house, they were telling me, yeah, she this guy, that guy. During the summer, she lost an exorbitant, she was already a small girl. Yeah. She lost an exorbitant amount of weight. I found out that she was shooting heroin all summer long. I had no idea. She kept, dude, it was unbelievable. So anyway, so New Year's Day comes around. Oh, wait a minute, let me back up. December 10th, the guy, so it's a boyfriend and girlfriend in the crack house. The guy, I was at the library. Listen, the probation officer arrested the guy. So then he's in jail for probation violation. So it's just me and his girlfriend. I had no interest in her. It was not like that at all. Well, he was feeling some type of way about the fact that I was staying there. So he called his landlord and told him that I was staying there without their permission. New Year's Day, little Jamaican man comes to the door. He points at me. He's like, you don't live here. And if you're not out here by 9 o'clock the next morning, the sheriff will come and put you out. Called my brother again. I was like, dude, I'm going to be homeless. So he bought me a bus ticket to Atlanta, and I go down to Atlanta where my mother and brother were living, and kind of started over then. So I lived in Atlanta for 6 months, decided to move to Vegas. That's a whole big long story. A couple of months into living in Vegas, I get a phone call from a mutual friend of ours, me and the girls, right?
But anyway, yeah. So I think it's just like a ton of projection from his own backstory. Like, yeah, my relationship ended with Melina, but it wasn't a horrible 5 years. Like, I enjoyed my relationship with Melina for the most part. There was obviously some problems, but I got to travel a lot, got to do a lot of cool things. Like, yeah, not every relationship lasts forever. I think I've enjoyed probably every relationship I've been in for the most part. But yeah, this dude is on some wild shit. My God.
Because you're a fucking dumbass. Gentlemen, this is what happens when you play video games for a living. And
what was your excuse at 31, falling for a 19-year-old heroin addict who had a child who was 6 years old, dating a felon? Like, what the fuck?
Disagree with people. And guys, I call these guys enemies of masculinity.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Aben Preach, enemies of masculinity. Destiny, enemies of masculinity. Anthony Johnson, enemies of masculinity. Adam Sosnick, enemy of masculinity. You heard? I know some of you like Adam Sosnick. If I ever see him, I'll fucking deck him. He's smack on time. Give a how much that dumbass is worth. Man, that is all there is to it. Enemies of masculinity. Adam, you fence riding loser. Go yourself. Unbelievable. And Destiny has all of these worshipers who are losers. And the funny thing is our critics and detractors, the things they say about our audience, those are the things that are true about Destiny's audience. Destiny is the guy that takes advantage of losers. Destiny is the guy that feeds these people full of bullshit, not us. We tell people the truth.
I misled my audience about Devin's age, but I did that for privacy purposes.
Just listen. We tell people the truth, and far be it from us to try to improve the lives of men. And here comes Destiny to disagree with it all. He was bad for the Red Pill community, man. Actually, he was good for the Red Pill community, to be honest with you, because we all saw, Destiny lived that shit out in real time. in real time. That poly relationships are fucked.
I also like that apparently the only aspect of this guy's life is it his relationship? Is this literally the defining thing? Like, you don't have a job or any other part of your life that you're like actually pursuing? Is it literally just, well, because if you just talk about his relationship, that's actually kind of sad too, but because for a variety of reasons, but.
Your stupid ass, your intelligent ass got played. Melina used you for a come up and then took off with a dude who wears a dress. But I'm supposed to acquiesce to you? You're smarter than me? Here. No, I got a woman. I got a real woman. And she might not be as young as I, but she doesn't their dudes.
Well, except for the one she to make the kid that you're now taking care of, which actually makes you like the biological definition of a cuckold. But not that there's anything wrong with that. I think there's no problem with stepchildren. But you better believe that if I had a stepchild, these guys would be losing their fucking minds. That if I had a stepkid, it would be all over. I would be the actual cuck. But
unbelievable. I am so glad that somebody finally called this dude out that people actually respect. Jesus Christ. Shade Cinema with the $5 Canadian super chat says, hey Donovan, have you seen a show called A Teacher? It's about a teacher who falls in love with her student. Lots of RP truth. Love the show. I saw the trailer.
Does he actually have a stepkid? Yes. His current wife, who seems like a nice lady, I guess. I don't know anything about her. I shouldn't say she's nice. I don't know anything about her. But she has a child that for a long time he called his niece. Because he was too embarrassed to admit that he'd married a single mom. Because he tells his audience that single mothers are like free use only over and over again. But yeah. She's white trash. I don't know what you mean when you say that. I don't care. I don't know the lady. I'm not gonna sit here and rag on his girlfriend or wife or whatever. I'm not gonna call her white trash. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. I don't know why I would. Yeah, that's mean. 55 minutes. Didn't she appear in his YouTube skits? Yeah, she's the one that is in his YouTube skits. This is why men will never understand sexual assault or rape like women do. He literally says in the real world, a victim would be too ashamed to speak out. This is how they view women. Anyone who does stand up for themselves is immediately a liar. We can't win. 10,000 likes. Oh, holy shit. Oh, but 1,100 retweets, so she might have gotten lit up in this. Sexual abuse survivors are some of the strongest people in the world. I don't think cuddling and touching someone's waist is the same as rape, but you do you. Men do understand. George doesn't. Stop saying that we don't care about victims. Many men have experienced sexual assault or rape, but when we talk about it, it's our fault. I'm not trying to invalidate male victims. I'm talking about how different the male... Oh my god, dude. Half the tweets responding to your tweets believe she was actually raped. The other half only focus on the first 5 seconds where you say she was lucky nothing worse happened. Go to war with the Minecraft community? Why? They're all like 14-year-olds. I don't even know what I would say. But like most of these people are virgins. Why the fuck would I care what they think about rape or sexual assault? What the fuck? Homeland Security versus Gamergate 2. Why do I look like I'm about to get a crazy opinion on this guy?
Talk about anything to do with Gamergate 2 or Sweet Baby Inc. Detected and all that stuff, I would...
Also, that girl's language and poetry about her waist-touching experience was actually really fucking disgusting, too. The more... Because I went back and I was rewatching some of it last night. Her saying, like, I tried to wash it off over and over again and I still felt dirty even after showering. She stole that from an actual, like, sexual assault or rape survivor's speech. Bullshit that she has this feeling because a guy fucking touched her waist. It's actually... That's really fucking gross. Some of the language that she was using was pretty unbelievable in that fucking... in her little drama video where she's trying to milk attention from it or whatever. And I don't even know if I should feel this much anger towards her or the whatever stupid friends she has that gassed her up so hard on this stupid video. Like, it's actually really gross. Every streamer is siding with her, Ludwig, Hassan, etc. I hope that's not true. The couldn't wash off the dirty line was from 13 Reasons Why. My understanding is that that's a feeling dirty or feeling gross after an actual sexual assault experience is actually, I think that's a pretty common thing among a lot of rape or sexual assault survivors. I don't think that just came from a TV show, unless everybody started saying it after the TV show, but I'm pretty sure that's a pretty common trope. I say trope, like it's a meme, but... Do the Minecraft streamers even deserve to be defended at this point? No, I don't think so. I think they actually do deserve it. I think they deserve all the Me Too allegations or whatever. Dream and the one guy or whatever. I think they deserve it. I think the guy who did the touching, I think his career should end, or at the very least, he should be kicked off the internet for 2 years. Because if you're gonna apologize about it and you're gonna feed into it and create this culture so that you can reap rewards off it later, I think you're as much to blame as anybody else. So fuck him and fuck Dream and fuck everybody else. That, yeah. The dude's name is George Not Found. What could he have done differently? Try and become a martyr? Or you just tweet out and say like, hey, I really don't think this was that big of a deal. If she is upset that I touched her, I wish she would have communicated at the time, but I mean, I won't do it in the future, but hey, at least nothing horrible happened. And yeah, boom, and then you're done. And then you move on. That's it. Destiny coming in with a, you should feel lucky you weren't raped. Yeah, this guy can go directly to hell. This is why I don't argue with women when they talk about hating men. Oh, 21,000 likes, nice.